I feel like if you watch witchy content, a lot of them, us, don't share all of their ingredients, and I kind of want to talk about why. Hi, I'm Kim, your certified crazy lady. Psychic readings and vlogs about my life as a psychic witch. If you don't hate any of those, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I got to thinking about it, and I figured that you probably watch other witchy creators and know why a lot of us don't share all of our spell ingredients. But then I thought, do you know? Do you want to know more? Anyway, this hand looks really big over here like this. Keep powering through. Okay. I very recently made a video about the protections I do when we travel. That was me pointing to it, it's up here. There's a spell jar I had for protecting my house, and I said I'm not going to share the ingredients that are in this for safety reasons, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to just talk about that, about why. Two really quick disclaimers. First of all, I don't speak for everyone, every person, every human, every magical spiritual practitioner. I don't speak for everyone. This is me and my way and my practice. Two, I also want to say that if you are a witchy creator and you share all of your spell ingredients, if you do share all of your witchy ingredients, that's awesome. That is so great. If you watch a creator who shares all of their witchy ingredients and spell ingredients and things, also amazing. That works for them and it's fine for them and it's great for you, and to each their own is basically what I'm saying. I'm not judging anyone who shares ingredients, and I just think that everyone has their own personal way of navigating their witchcraft and their magic and their practice, and this is how I sail those waters, and other people sail differently, but we're all the captains of our own ships, and all of our ships are beautiful. That got weird, but I think you get what I'm saying. Okay, so there are three main reasons I think that myself and other witches don't share every ingredient in a spell when they're making a video or a blog post or something about it. The first reason is safety. That's it, safety. Especially if you're doing and talking about protection magic and you're protecting yourself and things like that. Spells can be reversed, reworked, used in baneful ways against you if a practitioner who is kind of coming at you knows all of your spell ingredients. They can figure out kind of how to work around the things that you've put up for protection with things that, you know, if that kind of makes sense. I feel like I'm jibber-jabbering and it's just coming out in a mumbo-jumbo. If a troll wants to hex me and they know all of the things that I use for protection, they will find a chink in the armor, essentially. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, that is such an overreaction, like who would even want to hex you? I thought that too at the beginning of my witchcraft practice, my very serious witchcraft practice. I used to tinker with witchcraft and little bits here and there for most of my life. A couple years ago is when I really started to like into it for real. And make it my life, you know what I mean? Like a really big part of my life. I should have scripted this video. I do have a highly advanced note system, but I tore it a little. When I first started really practicing and watching a lot of videos from witchcraft creators, some of them would say, okay, I don't share all of my ingredients. Someone kind of mentioned how it's like, well, it's not safe for me because they would learn to work around somebody's sin and sending things to me. And then I was like, who would curse a witchcraft creator? Like, they're the nicest. They're the most beautiful human beings ever. And then I remembered that the internet is the internet. It's a rough go in comment sections. Honestly, you cannot underestimate angry people who watch YouTube videos or check Facebook or are on Twitter or are on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn, whatever. Trolls got a troll, and if they're a troll who also happens to be a magical practitioner, then they could very easily send stuff my way. I have all kinds of protections up all the time in many different ways because of this. And I'm a tiny creator. Teeny, eeny, weeny, itty bitty. Very insignificant to anyone. But that doesn't mean I always will be, and that doesn't mean that there is going to be one person who just hates me to hate me, and they're going to want to send stuff at me, or they're going to want to just evil eye me, or even unintentionally, whatever. And so I'm always prepared. kind of with things up and moving and working for me. And if I tell people what all of them are, they're gonna be like, okay, cool, I can just use this. It's just not entirely safe a lot of times for witchcraft, especially creators in big spaces like social media, YouTube, and places on the internet. The internet can be unsafe, and sharing all of your ingredients can make you a little unsafer. For the most part, I don't share ingredients, and if I do, I will rarely share all of them. When I made my protection jar, I shared that because it was half of a tutorial. It was kind of like, here is what I do. And it was to keep us safe from like scary things, not necessarily from people trying to come at me. So I felt safe enough sharing that travel protection jar, as well as the fact that I have protections up and around me and other things, and for my family and all kinds of stuff all the time. Anyway, to sum up my first point, it can feel unsafe for a witch to share all of their ingredients to workings and spells to literally everyone. It just doesn't feel safe sometimes, so we don't. The second reason that I think a lot of witches, myself especially, don't share ingredients or all of their ingredients is because it's kind of personal. We spend time working with herbs, working with crystals, working with elementals and energies and spirits and all these things that we're all, you know, deities, whatever, whoever anyone is working with. It's a practice and it's a study and it's a relationship. To just be like, okay, we'll just go to the grocery store and buy some mustard seeds and sprinkle them in and you're all set. Yes, but no. We all know that intention kind of is the biggest ingredient for everything, and you can't mimic that. Like, you have to put your own into that. Regardless of the ingredients that I'm using, you need to use what works for you and what resonates and connects with you. So my ingredients don't really matter that much. And they're personal. I've spent time with these herbs. I've spent time with these rituals. I've spent time with these energies. I've worked really hard and spent a lot of time fostering the relationships I have with all of these different things that I work with. You don't just go sharing every intimate detail about your friends. And so I don't go sharing every intimate detail about my friends. My friends being plants and animals and energies, and you follow. So it's just kind of personal. It seems like creators on the internet share everything, like literally everything, but we don't. We keep a lot private. I do anyway. You know, it may seem like an overshare with our lives and that you know everything in every detail, but you don't. I have a lot of things that are just mine and a lot of things that are just my family's, and my spell ingredients fall under that umbrella. I guess what I'm saying is it's personal, and it also is kind of irrelevant to what you may want to do, because you need to do what works for you and I need to do what works for me, and sharing what works for me may not work for you and may also just dingy up the relationship that's personal that I have with the energies that I work with. I am really hoping that I am making sense. I'm not the best at making sense. Third reason that I think a lot of witches don't share ingredients is because it's kind of sacred. It is holy to us. Wait, which I don't like that word. That is not a good word. Very spiritual. And this could kind of fall under the umbrella of it's personal, I guess. But like, it's like next level personal. Someone who prays isn't going to share every prayer out loud in a video on YouTube. It's special. It's a special relationship, and it's a special working, and it's bigger than personal. Personal is not a big enough word. Holy, sacred. Sacred is the best word that I have for it, and I don't really like that either. I'm just noticing this cord. Kind of wish that wasn't there. It's fine. While witchy ingredients are very, very personal, it is also for many people, very spiritual practice. Not everyone kind of combines witchcraft and spirituality. They're very separate for some people. For me, while witchcraft is not necessarily a religion, it is part of my spiritual practice, the way I incorporate it all. To just go around spouting every little thing about that just kind of feels like I'm not treating it as special and important as it is. So I don't. I really feel like I could have summed up this video a lot quicker and a lot more succinctly, but here we are, discombobulated. A lot of times witches don't share ingredients because 1, we don't really feel like it is safe to do so. 2, it's very personal and sometimes irrelevant to other people, what you're working with. And 3, it's important and very sacred to us, some of us, all of us, some of us. I can't speak for everyone. It's private, it's really important in a sacred way. Spiritual importance. I hope that this made some sense for some people, and I hope it helped answer the questions as to when you're watching a witchy YouTube video and you're like, okay, well, why aren't you telling me every single thing that you're putting in there? This might be why. I think that a lot of times we forget that it is a very personal practice, and when you're watching, you know, kind of spell casting tutorials and how to do this spell and that spell, and they don't give you every ingredient, it's because you need to do the work to find out what's going to work for you and what is going to feel right and connect with you. You can't rely on witchy creators to, you know, give you a step by step by step by step. They can help you along the way, and they can give you ideas, and they can give you launching points and inspiration, and they can start you with some baseline ingredients, but you need to make it yours. And that's why it's a practice, because we have to tinker with it. If you find a step by step, every detail, every ingredient spell, and it has worked for you, that's awesome. I wish I could say that for me, because my life would be easier. I'm just an odd duck, and I gotta make it work for me and my life. All right, I hope that this was helpful and kind of answered some questioning things. If you want to see the video where I tell you the protection type stuff that I do when we travel, you can click or tap right up here. And for just more on my face, you can click or tap right down here. I have a email list in the description below that's free with a free psychic reading. You're going to want to check it out. Thank you so much for being here. Now go embrace your crazy. Big hands.